Good afternoon, students. It's Mrs. Cinti here again. We're going to talk about section 2.4, multiplying with decimals. So here what we're going to do is we are going to, post-it note issue. We're going to go ahead and follow some steps in this process. Okay, so let's go ahead and write these steps down. The first step that we're going to do is we are going to multiply these problems as if they were normal whole number multiplication problems. Multiply as you would whole numbers. Okay, so multiply, sorry, I lost some letters there. Sorry, multiply. So go ahead and if we have, let's say, 7.89 times 0.32. Okay, so this is our multiplication problem. We're going to go ahead, we're going to ignore the fact that there are decimals here, and we're going to go ahead and just multiply as if they were whole numbers. So 9 times 2, 18. Again, organization is important. 16 plus 1 is 17. Carry the 1. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Okay, no decimal work yet. Okay, placeholder of the 0, we're moving over. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 2 is 26. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 2, which is 23. And then we're going to add it together because there's nothing to be done about this 0. It would just be a row of zeros. So add that together. We get 8, 14, carry the 1, 12, carry the 1, 5, bring down the 2. So this is our number right now. This is our raw number. Now what we're going to do, our step 2, is we are going to count up how many places to the right of the decimal there was. So number 2 is count the number of decimal places. In both factors. Okay, so let's go ahead and have this be a yellow color. Okay, so number 2 will be yellow. We are counting the number of decimal places in both factors. So there was 1, 2 here, and there was 1, 2 here. So our step 3, well, we can actually record the value. Step 3 is going to be 4. Number 2, there are 4. Slightly confusing, sorry about that. Okay, and then our third step, step 3, is that we are going to mark off the same number of decimal places in the product. So the total decimal places of all of the factors of these two factors was 4. So that means that we're going to move the decimal place from here 1, 2, 3, 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4 places. And so our final answer will be 2.5248. That's our final answer. Okay? So let's go ahead and do another one, just as practice. Okay, let's go ahead and try another problem. We have it's a pretty big problem, so let's go ahead and start over here. 170 and 35 hundredths times 7.244. I'm going to go ahead and fill this out real quick. You do it on your piece of paper, and then we will move right along. So, okay, so a pretty big number, right? And then what we do, again, just to remind ourselves, it seems like a big number, but remember that it was multiplication with decimals. We count up how many places there are how many decimal places there are. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that we move the decimal over 5 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is 1,234 and some change, if you will. Okay. Another type of question that you might be asked today is to multiply and round. So example, multiply and round to the nearest cent. So often when we deal with round to nearest cent, sorry, often what we deal with is money, okay, with a lot of decimals, unless you're in some other field. The most that we do is we multiply decimals in money. And so what you want to do is you want to think of those signs on a stand where you're trying to buy something and it says $3.24, right? That's the cost of what that t-shirt or something like that, or of that, I don't know, what would be $3.24. And so let's say that you want to buy a whole bunch for all your friends, so you multiply this by, I don't know, by 7. Let's say we do that, okay? Or by 7.2, because you only want to give 2/10 of it to one friend that didn't call you back on time, or whatever it is, right? So let's go ahead and do 3.24 times 7.2. And in this problem, you want to round to the nearest cent at the end. So let's go ahead and do it the way that we usually would. So we have 8, we have 4, we have 6 here, bring a 0, 28, that's 14, 15, 16, and then 21, 22. So our answer before we do the decimal move, the decimal shuffle, if you will, is this right here. And then we think about how many decimals are in, sorry, I should use a different color. How many decimals are there in both of those factors? There are 3, so we're going to move the decimal over 1, 2, 3 places. But remember that we're being asked to round to the nearest cent. So you want to ask yourself, is this a price that would be seen on a board over, you know, a set of pens? Okay, your favorite set of pens. Would you write $23 and 328 thousandths? The answer is no, you would not, okay? You would round it to the nearest cent. So you think about that 8 rounds this up to a 3, so the price that you would be reporting is $23.33, okay? So we never report those decimals that are not right there in the hundredths place, okay? So rounding to the nearest cent means round to the hundredths place, okay? And then another type of question that you might be asked here is using estimation to check your answers. If you were asked to use estimation, that just means, again, that you're going to estimate your answer and then check it using that. Use estimation to check. And so in that last scenario, or let's say in this scenario, $6.32 times 1.2. I went ahead and did the math already, so we would have gotten 7.584. Because it's money, we always round to the nearest cent, so that means that we need to get rid of this. So different color, blue. Remember that there were 3 here, so that's why it's 3 here. We're going to round this. It doesn't get rounded, so the cost is $7.58. And then does that make sense? $6.32 you would round down to $6. 1.2 you would round to 1. 6 times 1 is 6, and that's pretty close to 7.58. Really, you're thinking about decimals. If you got $75, right? If you got $0.7, those are really the only things that you could mix up here. Then you would know that you were off, and so that's why there's 6 in the ones place, there's 7 in the ones place. You're pretty close. It's not like you moved the decimal incorrectly and you got $75, or you moved the decimal incorrectly and you got 75 cents, right? That's what you're checking for with this estimation. Okay, good luck on the homework. See you next time.